We've talked before on this channel about how the Eagles defend bunch sets. We've given up a touchdown in the red zone that we broke down where a box check went wrong. We've talked about the box check. We've talked about triangle responsibilities. The Washington Commanders ran bunch sets several times against the Eagles on Sunday. How would they fare against them? Let's go to the tape. On this first one, we have 3 over 3. We've only got 3 defenders over the 3 in the bunch. Now, we've talked about before, sometimes you will box a bunch. So if we had a safety over here, you could box the bunch. Think of it as the 4 corners of a box, right? The safety would have first in deep. You've got a linebacker or a slot corner. In this case, a slot corner has first in shallow. You've got first out shallow, first out deep. So you could do that if you play 4 over 3. However, the Eagles have 5 guys that look like they're going to rush here. We've got a safety over to the other side of the field, so we're playing straight up 3 over 3. And let's watch how this plays out. We'll roll the tape, and then we'll come back and talk about it. You get that free release through the middle for Jahan Dotson. So what do? At the snap of the ball, the point man is going to initiate contact to drive this backwards, right? And then you've got a route coming underneath. Now, Darius Slay he can't even cut through here, because Eli Rick's in here at the same depth. He's got to go over the top. And you just see how there's all kinds of time, all kinds of space to throw this ball. That's an easy completion to move the chains on 3rd down. Now remember that look. We're going to come back to that later. But let's look at the second one. This time you do have 4 over 3. You've got a safety over here, but the Eagles don't box this. In fact, it looks to me like Reed Blankenship is keying a crossing route. And so I think the way that they're playing this, as I'll roll it here and then we'll talk about it, I think the idea here is that we're playing straight up man, and then we've got between Reed Blankenship and Zach Cunningham, we're responsible for this receiver. I think if he comes across, we're keying this crossing route and you're going to pass him off. And if instead of coming across, he breaks out, I think Zach Cunningham is supposed to carry him. That's what I think is supposed to happen. I'm not entirely sure. Zach Cunningham falls off this route here. I think he feels like he's going to break in. He lets him go, but he breaks out. There's no way that Reed Blankenship can get to this. It's just not possible. So, like, we watch All-22, or we watch in the broadcast, and you think that Reed Blankenship or Kevin Byard is at fault there. And I really think this one's probably on Cunningham, thinking this route's coming across, and it doesn't. It breaks back outside. That should be a completion. Ball comes out. Now let's look at the final rep that I wanted to highlight. This is also a big down. Notice we've got the bunch, right? Just like our first play. Notice the different alignment here. You've got Darius Slay is up, right? And we've got Eli Ricks back this time. And they're still playing straight man coverage, okay? But they know last time we got this look, we crossed our receivers up to create room. So this time Darius Slay is given this space to slide through. And the other thing that's going to change is this time. Last time, the first time we see the point man attacking, it was Kevin Byard at the time. This time it's Zach Cunningham. You're going to see Zach Cunningham step down and aggressively jam this point man. And that's going to give you room. It's going to disrupt the predicted release here, and it gives you room for Darius Slay to slide through. So we'll roll the tape here. Boom. He pushes him, right? He's not going to let you drive me back off the ball. That opens up room for Darius Slay to slide underneath. He's able to contact the catch point, and it's an incompletion. Now, it should probably still be a completion, but it's a lot closer here, and the hit is able to bring the ball out. So the Eagles playing straight man coverage out of these is a little bit strange. A lot of times what you would like to do in a situation like this, I mean, you can't just be like passing off routes entirely. You've got a linebacker and a tight end here. You need to keep them locked in. So you want to jam that guy. And a lot of times you'll draw the line here and you'll say Darius Slay has the first out route and Eli Ricks has the first in breaking route. And so you could play it out like that. And in this case, it would work out perfectly because you have a guy going to the flat and you have a guy coming shallow. And so you could pass it off like that. However, that doesn't always work. We go back to the first example, and both these receivers are going to come inside, and so you'd still have to pass that off, and now there's not a receiver going out. So a lot of different ways you can play against bunches here. The Eagles are still working on that. Still a work in progress. Bunches are really hard to defend. There's a lot of different ways you can choose to do them. Credit to Sean Desai and the Eagles defense for getting it right down the stretch when it really mattered on this play right here. Good job by Darius Slay breaking up that pass. As you can see, the Eagles are still experimenting with how they want to defend bunch sets. One of the most encouraging things for me is seeing that look from the beginning of the game on third down where the Eagles were misaligned. There's Darius Slay has to go over the top of Eli Ricks and it's an easy completion, to near the end of the game when in a very similar situation they played the coverage. I mean, the coverage was the same, but it played out entirely differently due to the nuances, the details of Cunningham jamming the point man, Ricks giving Slay room to slide underneath, and it results in an incompletion. That's a problem spot for the Eagles defense so far, but it appears that they're starting to sort out how to handle these bunch sets.